All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is live. Sitting down with the man, the myth, the legend. We're about to get cranked off here. We got about 5 minutes. We're going to try not to curse. And
it's going to be rough.
Well, I'm going to try not to curse. He can say whatever the hell he wants to say. So there's that.
There we go.
But if you would, go out there, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. If you would, like us on Facebook, YouTube, follow us on whatever you can follow us on, Rumble. Check us out at notonthepayroll.com. We'll come back in about 5 minutes and we'll throttle up on this. It's going to be an interesting night. Everybody's going to want to hear this because we're going to pull the gloves off. We'll just say that like that. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. We're going to pull the gloves off.
Pull the gloves off, but
pull the gloves off. That's right. We're going to keep that white wrap around it, though.
Oh, you're going to keep that white wrap around?
That's right.
You're going to let the reins go on the horse?
That's right.
I'm going to hold on to mine because I might need to pull them back.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. We've got about 4 minutes. Bear with us, guys. All right, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's see here. Keep checking that health there. Dark side of the moon type of fella.
Yeah. Pink Floyd.
Yeah, there you go.
Run, rabbit, run.
That's what do they call meditation music?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you enjoy a little bit of
up,
yeah.
up, and down, down. Yeah, that's me.
Especially if you enjoy that that stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'll just lay back and take it easy.
There you go.
Why is the room filled with smoke?
That's right.
Wait a minute, I don't smoke. Where'd that come from?
That's a Lord.
Yeah.
That's a Lord showing up.
I didn't do it. You told me to do it, Lord. That wasn't me. It was that other guy.
It's Ben Hancock.
That's
Oh, wait. Hey, everybody can hear us at this point, so. Going live. Here we go. I don't know if we said this, but we're not going to do call-ins. You are listening to Not on the Payroll. Yes, that is right. Not on the Payroll right here at KJAS 107.3 FM. I hope you're having a wonderful and lovely evening. Got a great show for you tonight. We're sitting down here with Jasper City Councilman Anderson Land. We'll get to him in just a few moments, but we got to pay some bills first. I know. A lot of you guys out there, you're griping and belly aching over the fact that we haven't been live for a while. Well, here's the thing. I've got a full-time job, and I have to juggle it around a little bit. So bear with me. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the interviews. If you haven't been over to our Facebook page, it is a new Facebook page. Why? Because we were shadow banned, blocked, and basically every bit of information we were putting out there to the public was being hamstrung by the old Facebook page. Look for Not on the Payroll with the gorilla with the red headphones. The gorilla with the red headphones. That's who you need to be looking for. Also, go over to our notonthepayroll.com page if you want to catch up on any of our interviews that we've done over the past, since January. We started this thing in January, and we're rolling right along. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out at Rumble. If you want to see us live tonight, me and Councilman Land, we're going to duke it out. We're going to get to the bottom of the story. So we're not going to be doing a call in tonight. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, you can check us out over there. Or if you're listening on the airwaves of Jasper's friendliest radio station, I would say, KJAS 107.3 FM. I do want to throw out a couple of things right fast. Number one, I would like to say, if you have not read about the Jasper Community Theater actually at KJAS.com, if you haven't read about that, you need to go check it out. They have a GoFundMe page. They're trying to get everything back up and running and rolling. They're trying to find a new location. But they have a GoFundMe page. You can actually go to GoFundMe.com and you can type in Jasper Community Theater. Needs your help. And right now they have about $875 of donations that is going toward, to basically set those guys back up where they can provide all of the theater fund that you guys are into here in the area. So I would encourage you to go over there. If you need to know where the link is or you just don't like typing things in, go over to notonthepayroll.com. We do have it up on our website. You can click on the link. It'll take you straight there. So I want to basically let you guys know that Jasper Community Theater needs your help. And Miss Teresa Ballou, we actually did an interview with Miss Riggins, and that'll be going up here in the next 24 hours. So you can check that out as well. I want to thank our sponsors. And matter of fact, Stewart Glass, they've been with us for a long time. They're a great glass company here in town. Matter of fact, they are the top of the line. If you want the best deals in town and you want the best workmanship in town, Stewart Glass are going to take care of you. They're here at 415 West Gibson here in Jasper. That's on the south side of 190. If you are headed toward Walmart from 96, you'll see them on the left. Vicky, Sammy, and Craig Stewart, they've all gotten behind us in what we do here with Not on the Payroll, because I understand, a lot of people can't put their money where their mouth is and try to support a show that may be a little bit controversial. At the same time, we do appreciate them, we love them, and we hope you love them too. Also, check out Lakes Area Pond. Lakes Area Pond is located at 603 South Wheeler, right here in Jasper. For all of you who don't know, that's on the north side of 90. It's headed up past 190 on 96 on the left-hand side. They've got everything that you want pawn shop. So if you're looking for weapons, if you're looking for instruments, if you're looking for saws, tools, any kind of thing that you're looking for. If you're looking for DVDs, they've got a wall of DVDs. Go down there and check them out. That's Lakes Area Pond right here. They're also one of our sponsors. Hollis Tire is They're actually the Cooper provider here in this region. If you were looking for anything having to do with tires, if you need a flat fix, if you need a new set of tires, if you need anything that you need, all you've got to do is go down to Hollis Tire. They'll take care of you. And matter of fact, they're easy to work with. That's one of the things that I love about Hollis Tire is the fact that you can go in there, tell them what's going on. You may not even know what's going on, but they'll take your vehicle for a ride. They'll come back. They'll tell you what's wrong, and then now you know. Now everybody's in the same boat. Matter of fact, I had them come tell me one time that my guardian angel probably hates me because he's holding on the front part of my van. So there's that. Having said that, go down to Hollis Tire and get you a new set of tires if you get a chance. They're at 510 North Wheeler here in Jasper. Also, Two Bros Wealth and Legacy. Two Bros Wealth and Legacy. A lot of people wonder what Two Bros Wealth and Legacy is about. Two Bros Wealth and Legacy is about wealth and legacy. And to be honest with you, most of us here in this area only know poverty and struggling. Most of us don't know anything about planning and preparing to leave monies and funds to our kids and relatives when we pass on. Most of us don't even know how to open up a savings account and handle that properly. So, Two Bros Wealth and Legacy. If you're looking for life insurance or you're looking for anything having to do with investments or anything like that, all you've got to do is talk to those guys down there. Matter of fact, tell them I sent you. Gary Danar, he's the guy who can hook you up, and you need to sit down with him and see kind of if you're putting enough plan into the work. See if you're putting enough plan into saving some of your money, and they can help you do that. They can actually help you do that. So that's Gary Danar. Gary Danar at Two Bros Wealth and Legacy Solutions. They've got you taken care of. Let's see here. So, having said all that, we want to thank our sponsors. If you're out there and you want to sponsor, all you've got to do is give us a call. Give us a call, shoot us a message, shoot us something on Facebook, that type of thing. Don't call us right now. Matter of fact, I'm actually having to field some texts from some folks trying to get on right now. So if you'll just hold tight, I tell you what, hold tight. Everybody's interested to see what Anderson Land has to say, and so am I. I tell you, to be honest with you, there's been a lot going on this year, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Okay.
It's been that kind of year.
Let me start by saying this. Councilman, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to sit down with us and chat with us. And hopefully we can, by the time we're done and we pull the gloves off and we're taped up and ready to go by the time we leave. But I do appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I would say this. There are a number of things that we need to get to the bottom of.
Can I say one thing first?
Sure.
What's up with the gorilla with the red headphones?
So I have this great appreciation for gorillas because they're grumpy, and my wife has kind of dubbed me the gorilla in a way. And so I was trying to figure out, whenever I was building out the logo and everything like that, what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of give a little pop of color in there.
Okay.
And so the gorilla with the red headphones was just an easy way to do it.
It stands out.
And it stands out, And I mean, you hear a gorilla with red headphones, you're like, what the hell's that? So, I mean,
You want to find out.
Yeah, you want to kind of look at it, see what's going on.
Okay.
So, plus, it's an easy way to kind of direct people. But, but nonetheless, yeah, man, I mean, so I have, we've been here for most of the year, and there's been a lot of stories, a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on. When were you actually elected?
May of 2019.
Okay, so May of 2019. I'm going to take notes.
That was my first year. May of 2019. That was my first term. 2019, 2020. This is my second term.
Okay. So how has it been so far?
It's been a roller coaster.
Okay.
Tumultuous, to say the least.
Okay.
It's been a lot of turmoil.
What do you think is at the bottom of that turmoil?
Communications, transparency.
Okay.
I guess with me, wanting to serve the people, people ask me questions. They want to know what's going on. I'm trying to answer those questions. Most of that, what's at the bottom of that turmoil, is not getting the answers that I need to give to the people.
Okay.
That should be provided by the city leaders, city management,
Okay.
should I say. We're the city council. We're like the board of directors. Anything that the city just wants to do, such as budget. As you know, we just had a budgetary workshop.
Meeting. Yeah.
Budgetary meeting.
I heard everything went well.
Everything went well, and I guess our next meeting we'll be approving everything. We didn't approve anything.
Okay.
This meeting, but everything will be approved in our next meeting. But we need to be we need to be more, not a little bit, we need to be more transparent with the people. Things need to be a little bit smoother down at City Hall. You get complaints. Well, I went to City Hall and I didn't get the answer that I wanted to get.
Right.
I went to this department and didn't get the answer that I wanted to get.
Yeah.
Whether it's the city inspector or city services, such as I had to go to the window and the person wasn't nice to me. Everybody's not going to be nice to you.
Sure.
You're going to, a lot of people bring things on themselves.
Right.
They'll come down there and they'll have an attitude. What do you expect the person behind that window is going to do?
Sure.
They're probably going to, but we're in a customer service business.
Okay.
That's what we do down there at City Hall, whether it's utilities, water, sewer, what have you. We want to be able to answer the questions for the people down there. And a lot of times people just don't leave City Hall with a good taste in their mouth.
Right.
It's like, well, I didn't get the answer that I wanted to get. Well, did you ask the right question?
Do you feel like that is the responsibility? It's the responsibility of those who are working at the city to be a little bit more like Chick-fil-A in a way, where my pleasure. Yes, thank you. How can I help you further? I mean, do you feel like it is a training situation where people need to be trained, or do you feel like what do you feel like is the root of that?
Training, that is one aspect of it. I mean, it's like you walk in the door. It's like, and I'll just throw this out there. I'm pretty sure she won't mind, but Christine Moon, when she was there, you walk in that door, she was a friendly face. After Christine Moon, it was like, okay, what am I going to go through next? But most of the ladies at the windows are friendly, like I said, but you come into that window with an attitude. But even if you've had a bad day and you're back there behind that window, you can't have a bad day with the people out front.
I got you.
Like you said, that goes to training. Mm-hmm. So what if stay home? If you feel like if it's that bad, don't come to work, because then you're going to give somebody an impression that people of Jasper, the employees down there, are not friendly. They don't want to talk to you. But maybe that's not it all the time. Then you may come to that window with an attitude. And what we need to do is to make sure our staff is trained to repel that. Say, okay, yeah, just because you come to me with an attitude, exhale.
Sure.
I'm not going to let you pull me into your world.
Okay,
I'm not going to do that. But yeah, in services, training, we have that. But that also goes back to the top. Okay, people need to recognize that. If I have a complaint, you take it to the complaint department, whether it's the city manager or whoever is there.
Right.
You let them know what's going on. It's like, okay, yeah, how do we address this issue? Okay, we don't just like, well, my this person behind the window had an attitude with me.
Right.
We need to address that issue, address that person. Okay, what
Sure.
happened? You get both sides of the story.
Yeah.
Not just like, okay, well, I don't think my employee would do that. I would never say that as a manager. And I've been in management.
Right.
I was in management most of my life when I wasn't here. Like I said, you asked me this evening.
Right.
You thought I wasn't from Jasper.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, the truth is, I'm not originally from Jasper myself, so I really, a lot of people I meet around here, I just try to find out.
Yeah. Born and raised right here in Jasper, graduated in 1972, getting ready to have our class reunion in October.
Uh-oh.
So, I wonder what that's going to be like. I'm glad I got some hair. But yeah, it deals with training. It starts from the top. Addressing issues that we have, and that's up to the city leaders. That's up to upper level management to handle those issues on both sides of that coin, whether it's a customer or whether it's an employee. But get an answer to it.
So when you ran, and obviously this is your second term, what was really kind of your vision for being a city councilman?
I didn't know.
Didn't know?
No. All I know is people said we need somebody to represent us. Okay, now how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no, I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen, you see on television council members being interviewed, or the only thing you see on television is you see people sitting up behind a desk.
Right.
Some people out in the audience may be asking questions, and some of them are not good. I remember when I was up in Philadelphia, there was a city councilman by the name of Milton Street who used to fight in city council chambers.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. His name was Milton Street, and actually he became mayor of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And he used to throw down up there. Where you going, Jay?
No, that sounds like the city of brotherly love.
That's what it is, city of brotherly thugs. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
But they worked out their differences.
Sure.
At the end of the day, one way or another.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all still have to come together and do what? What is right for the city of Philadelphia. What we need to do here at the end of the day, do what is right for the city of Jasper.
So, at this point, considering this is your second term, what do you feel like you've accomplished since you've been there?
It's kind of hard to say.
Okay. Well, I mean, you started with not really having kind of a game plan. You just knew somebody, you knew that position needed to be filled to represent the people, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so at this point, I mean, so it was 2019 when you first...
2019, May of 2019, when I first sat in that chair behind the desk. And I feel like some of the things that I've accomplished is to economic development for the city, with JEDCO, Provalis, we got them in here.
Right.
I was part of the team. I was on council during that time. I like working with JEDCO.
Right.
Trying to, with Eddie. Well, Paul was there now. Now Sam Matthews is there. But I liked working with the economic development team. Being on the JEDCO board. I feel as though those are some of the accomplishments that I've had, being able to be appointed to some of those boards to be able to help make decisions for the city of Jasper. That's one of the accomplishments that I think that I have been able to do and gain the trust and the confidence of other members of the city of Jasper. I don't know about my fellow council members. I hope that I have.
Sure.
But,
but I mean, like a lot of people, obviously, people who hold offices, a lot of times you can kind of look back and you have like one or two highlights, maybe three highlights, depending on how long you've been in, where you would just basically say, well, I saw this from conception to completion. I mean, what would you say are some of those things that you feel like you've accomplished?
Well, the park I didn't, but I feel like doing the end as far as, making sure that we had the funding for the park, making sure that we had the funding for Provalis, which brought jobs.
Okay.
That's one of my goals when I got on there. It's like, making sure that we had employment for the people of the city of Jasper and making sure that the city of Jasper became viable again. It wasn't like, I'm not saying that everybody was like, well, I like the old Jasper the way it was. Well, let's move on from that.
Yeah,
let's
what does
make
that
Jasper
mean?
New.
Yeah, what does that mean whenever they say that?
They want to see it thriving like it was before. I mean, Jasper, the square in Jasper, when I was growing up here,
right?
Man, we had like every day. I mean, you had the theater downtown, the movie theater.
Yeah.
You had businesses downtown.
Sure.
That's one of the things that I want to try to accomplish with the downtown projects that we have going on now, the facade program. I want to try to make sure that we can. One of my goals is to try to help the Economic Development Corporation here in Jasper to bring businesses back into the city of Jasper. Okay. We have the industrial areas that we want to try to bring back to the city of Jasper, but downtown, get it back. Provalis is a start of that.
Right.
I mean, we have the Belgium Hotel, which the Eduardo, the gentleman from Katie, I believe it.
Okay.
They've remodeled that. That's opened back up.
Yeah.
We've done
great food.
Oh yeah, great food.
Yeah.
I think you were saying earlier that you had went to the historical museum.
Yeah.
That program is going, and the lady Jean who's doing all the facades here, getting all those done. You drive around the city, you might see that big lift that's in that big scissor lift that's in town.
Yeah.
Cherry picker, whatever you want to call it. She's doing a lot of the designs.
Okay.
Maybe that's going to help. I'm hoping it does. But we want to what we need to do is, what do we need to do? And I don't know. I don't have the answer to this. What do we need to do to attract businesses to the downtown area?
Okay.
You know, if that's what we want, that's one of my goals. If that's what we want to do in the city, we all should get together as an economic development team, along with the city of city council members and the Jasper Economic Development Board, which is Jasper United, which is I like that. What can we do to bring those things back to the city of Jasper, not like it was before, but even better? Right. You know, the theaters, the stores that we had downtown. You know, we had First State Bank. We still do have, you know, First National Bank, which is still here, Southside Bank. Right. But I remember when you used to walk around that courthouse square, you had Post Department Store, Matthews Miller, the Lanier Shop. Yeah. You know, Morgan and Lindsay. We had all those stores downtown in Jasper. So you're wanting,
so your hope is to be able to revive Jasper around the square.
Revive, renew, revitalize. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I guess the reason I'm even pushing, you know, on some of these questions, because, you know, for me, you know, what would you say is, I mean, whenever we first started talking about it, I think we interviewed back first part of the year.
Yeah.
A lot of chaos, a lot of things going on, a lot of, hey, look at this is happening, this is going on under the people's noses, this is, you know, and nobody really knows this, and I'm trying, you know, I want to get this out to the public, right? You know, and a lot of things like that. And so, you know, with this being your second term, you know, my hope would be that you would have kind of a plan or a plan of attack, I guess, you know, because rumor has it out here on the street that it is your intention to run for mayor. Is that true?
Rumor has it.
But is it true?
Rumor has it. Let's just leave it at a rumor right now. Is there a possibility? Anything is possible.
Well, I'm not talking about possibility. What I'm asking is
you're asking me directly?
I'm asking 100%. I don't think I could be any more direct. I mean, is it your plan, if you are still here next year? Because I think is the current mayor's
term is up in 2023. I would like to run for mayor. Yes, I'm not saying when, if it's in 2023 or not, but yeah, would I like to? That's my goal. My goal is just not to be sitting on city council. If you get into a business, I've come from the business world, the business section. Okay, you might start out as a operations manager or a supervisor, right? But you may want to be a director. I mean, like you asked me earlier, goals. What's your goals? What's your plans? Yeah, my plan is to become mayor someday. Yeah. Will that happen in 2023?
So with Mayor Sayers, you're saying he's terming out, or his term's up, or is it just
he just got reelected again? No, the way our elections,
it's 3 or 5 years.
Let me explain that to you. The way it works in the city of Jasper is, it's like I run for now. This is my second term. I've served 2 terms. Okay, I'll be serving 2 terms. So now if I don't run next year for anything, right? Okay. Then 2020, which District 1 is an odd year. Right. So 2023. So 2025, I run again. I can serve 5 more 2-year terms. It has to be consecutive. You cannot. It's not just like, well, you can only serve 10 years according to the charter. Just like if you run, like the mayor, he wasn't there. Gary Gadlin was there. The mayor was not there. So he can still serve 8 more years, even though he was there before. So it doesn't. He's doing 2 years now, and he's got 4 more terms that he can serve, 4 more 2-year terms. Wow. It has to be, you can do 10 consecutive years, or you can possibly serve more than 10 years. But you can, like I said, now I can run for, I can do these 2 years. Not do anything for 2 years, and then come back and run again and win. Okay. And I can do 5 more 2-year terms, which that would put me 10, 14 years on council.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So then.
But yes, I am.
So at this point,
to answer your question,
you wouldn't want to go on the record officially and say that you're going to run in 2023.
No, I don't want to go on the record officially.
Okay. All right. Well, considering that.
Am I considering it? Yes.
Okay.
Am I considering it?
Okay, so
Yes,
let's
I
do
am.
this. Instead of going officially, we'll just do a 1 to 10 scale, like I do with a lot of things. 10 being, yeah, I'm definite, so we're not going to commit to that.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 being, hell no, I'm not running.
Mhm.
Where do you fall on that 1 to 10 scale?
12.
You fall on a 12
You know what that means.
for running next year.
You know what that means.
So I think that's official, ladies and gentlemen. I'll step out on a limb here. If
Don't break that limb.
well, I'm a large fella, but I'll go out on a limb here and say that
Yeah.
you're going to run. You're going to run in 2023. And I mean, hey, it's a worthwhile endeavor.
We got 7 months to go, Jay. So,
Sure,
you know.
absolutely. A lot of things can happen. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to people out here who are your supporters? Say, because what I'm sensing right now, or what I'm thinking, is this: you've got some people who are out there listening to the fact that we just made that official here at 7:30 on a Thursday night, and they're excited about what they just heard. What would you like to say to those who support you?
Thank you for those. Thank you for those who have been supporting me. Thank you to those who have given me the courage and the words to do what I'm doing now, because that means a lot to me. A lot of people come up to me and say, "Thank you for
Right.
voting no
Right.
on the alcohol ordinance.
Okay.
Thank you for voting against the broadband."
Right.
I mean, and I want people to understand, it's not that I'm not for, just totally against these things,
Right.
but things that I do not feel that are good for Jasper,
Okay.
I'm not going to be for. And yes, I'm going to vote against them.
Okay.
Anything that I feel as though it's going to be good for the city and good for the people, because guess what? The people make up the city. We were elected by them.
Right.
So I get calls. I talk to people. Yes, and I want to say thank you. And anything that you feel as though that I'm not doing, let me know. Anything you feel as though to the people that have supported me.
Right.
Anything you feel as though that it's going to make me a better leader in the city.
Right. Right.
You give me your opinion. Either I'm going to say, okay, yeah, I'll take that under consideration, or yeah, that's a good point. I'm never not going to listen.
Yeah.
I'm never not going to listen.
Okay.
If you can understand what I'm saying. I'm never not going to listen. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen to the people. What I want to say to the people, thank you for your support, and I want you to continue to support me and hold me accountable and hold my feet to the fire for the things that you want done for the city of Jasper.
Sure. Absolutely.
And for you as the citizens of Jasper. Hold my feet to the fire and say, okay, look, you said you were going to do this, or this is what we need. I'm not just going to come out here all willy-nilly and throw some ideas out there about how to. My ideas come from the people. I have some things that are like, you asked me a question a few minutes ago. What was my inspiration for running? What made me run?
Sure.
When I came back home, I hadn't been home in a while. It had been some years. And when I came in, I went downtown, I drove downtown, and I said, oh my God, this is not the Jasper that I grew up in. Didn't expect it to be. I expected some changes, but I didn't expect it to be nothing.
Right.
Reminded me of the commercial you may be a little bit young for this. There was a commercial a long time ago where they had this, I forget, Chief Dan George or whatever. He was standing on the side of the road. Car drove by. I think it was like a 60s commercial. He was standing near the reservation. Car drives by and throws some trash out the window, right at his feet, and he's standing there. And a tear comes down his eye. That's the way I felt driving through the city of Jasper when I came back home. What happened to the city that I grew up in?
Right.
And a tear came down my eye.
Right.
What can I do? What can I do as a Jasper native, somebody born and raised here? Yeah, I left, but I came back. Why? Because this is still home.
Right. I get it.
That's why. That was my motivation.
So
what can I do about it? Get on city council.
Okay. So for those folks out there in the community who say the reason that downtown is still in the shape downtown's in is because downtown's eat up with code issues.
That could be true. I'm not a code enforcer. I'm not an inspector, but I'm just saying it's possible.
A lot of times businesses can't come into certain areas because there's so much money that has to be put into it to be able to bring stuff up to code.
And that could be true.
And so,
that's what happened. How much money did we spend on the Provalis building? I think we spent like, a couple of million or whatever. We did that for first person. But guess what? It was worth it.
But
we've got over a couple of hundred employees, I believe, right now.
But didn't you guys actually have to tear down the old building and build a new?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there may be some of that.
Well, we had to gut that. We didn't tear it down. We gutted it. You know, we still use some of the
maybe the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would just but
you could be, you know, that's true.
I mean, because I know this. I mean, I know that there's a lot of businesses that end up just moving outside because a lot of that old stuff is just it's dilapidated.
Yeah.
It's dilapidated. I say it's dilapidated. It looks nice on the outside, but walk through some of those places and you're looking at.
Yeah, we even had a building that the roof caved in.
Yeah, exactly.
And look what happened to that's what happened to the museum. Building right on Main Street, a building around on Houston Street, same thing.
Yeah,
building caved in.
Yeah, so. All right, so we've talked about the people who support you and what you say, what you have to say for those guys. What would you say to the people out here who feel like you're somewhat of a troublemaker, feel like you're somewhat of a you're a person who instead of dealing with things in session, you would rather come to the radio station?
They're entitled to their opinion.
That's what you tell them?
That's what you. They're entitled to their opinion.
Okay. So do you believe that the city council and the mayor are corrupt?
I don't know that.
Okay.
Do I believe that? I can't say I believe that because I don't know that. I don't know the.
But I don't
know the people on city council that well enough to say that. Do I think there are some things that have been done on city council that they were not transparent with the people about? Yeah, okay. I do. I don't think they were upfront with people about. Yeah, does that make them corrupt? I can't say if they're corrupt or not.
Okay.
And I would never say that about my colleagues because I don't know. I'm never going to say, oh yeah, they're corrupt. No, I'm not going to say that. Sure. Not without proof, not without evidence.
Right.
Even though something may look like a duck, walk like a duck, and quack like a duck, it probably is a duck. But if I don't know that's a duck, I'm not going to just say, yeah, that's a duck.
So
But no, I can't. I'm not going to say that.
Would you say that your relationship with the other members of the council is
rocky? It's rocky.
With all of them?
It's rocky.
Okay. So then I guess my next question would be,
I mean, I get along with Councilman Holmes. Councilman Lewis, he's been on there for a little while. I don't know him that well enough to make a comment about that.
Sure.
Councilman Schultz and I, we have our differences,
right.
But we've agreed on some things and we've disagreed on things, and I guess you could say we disagree. We agree to disagree.
Okay.
Don't know Councilman Daniel that well. Like I said, most of I can say about as far as what you're alluding to was with the broadband project.
No.
Certain other things.
I'm not alluding to anything. What I'm asking is the relationship that you currently have with the council. If you're running for mayor, how do you intend on bridging that gap? Because honestly, although people want to say the mayor is just a figurehead, okay, and basically is kind of a weak position from a power standpoint on that council.
Right.
You know, my question would be, you know, if you have a rocky relationship with these guys, I mean, you know, how do you see bridging the gap, man?
Communications.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to sit down and talk and what. How do you bridge that communication?
Yeah.
The how do you bridge that gap is we all have to be on the same page with what we want for Jasper, not what we want for ourselves.
Okay.
Okay, that's how we do it. Okay, what do you want? And we sit down and we talk about it.
So
what do you want for Jasper? And once we get on the same page,
right,
then that's how you bridge.
Do you feel like right now that there are a lot of personal agendas on the council?
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a lot, but sometimes I feel like that there are personal agendas on there.
Okay.
I can't say what they are because I'm not inside.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, head. Absolutely. But I mean, you know what you feel.
Sometimes it feels.
You know what you feel.
Yeah, that's all I can say. And a feeling is like the rain; it comes and goes. So I may have a feeling about that today, and then it's like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't like that, or maybe this person changed their mind. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But you get, you know how it is. You get that feeling, and it's like, okay.
So let's move. Let's push forward into the. We had you shot me a text message after having viewed Councilman Lewis's interview with me,
Yes.
And just wanted to touch on that for a minute because I think it was in reference to, was it in reference to the 10% cap or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
Because I'm trying to recall it.
Yeah, see, and the thing is, I'm not using that word cap. Everybody wants to use that word. It's a 10% cap. It's a 3% cap.
Right.
Like I said, I've been on there since 2019.
Right.
Okay. Never seen anything about a cap.
Right.
Looked at the.
Well, it was when we're saying cap, because back in February when me and you sat down on Valentine's Day, you referred to it as a 10% cap that they would not be able to charge past. And so, basically, the utilities.
The utility,
it would
rate.
They would cap the cost, right?
What we were saying is not cap the cost, but what it's saying is that the city would not be able to charge beyond 10%. Not that they, and see, you could use that one way or the other. Some people say, like, well, they can charge up to 10%.
Okay.
Okay, it could be that, but we're saying that we want to say that the city would not be able to charge over 10%. Okay. Do they have to charge up to 10%? No, they don't. First time I ever seen this 3% cap, as they call it, was when we had our last budget meeting. I've never seen that in the last 2 budget workshop binders that we have. Never seen anything about a cap. Never heard anything about a cap. The whole time I was going through the painstaking event of trying to do this proposition.
Yeah.
I never heard from anybody at City Hall, city manager, city finance director, anybody, because I'd go down and I'd ask, look, what are we paying? What are we paying for now? How much how much is our rate? What are we paying for?
Sure.
And I said, okay, what are you trying to do? Well, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it down to where we can not charge over a certain amount. 10% was the number that I have. Never did I ever hear, well, we're already at a 3% cap. Why would you want to do that? That wouldn't be a good idea. As a city official, as a city, as part of management, I would think that would be more than due diligence to say, well, Councilman, well, we already have a cap. Never heard that.
Okay.
Never heard that. Never seen it. Okay. If it's there, it was never shown to me. I went down and I asked. I talked to the city manager. I need to look at the rates that we're being charged and the rates that we're charging the people. And I've gotten all that information from the city manager. She gave me a lot of that, but never.
Okay. Never
have I ever heard of a 3% cap until we had this budget meeting. If it was there, it was never given to me.
So this here is from 2018. And I'll read the highlighted part here. It says, beginning October 1 of each year, beginning October 1 of each year, beginning 2018, I don't know exactly how that's supposed to read, the utility rates shall go up by an annual national inflation rate as calculated, et cetera, et cetera. And then it says the rate of increase will not exceed, so capping, if we want to use that term.
If you want to say that.
Will not exceed 3% for a given year. So I think I think this is talking to exactly what you're saying about communication.
Yeah. But is it just, it said in a given year. So is that just 2018? Because I came in 2019.
No, this was the standard that was adopted.
Okay.
And so the thing is, all I'm saying is this. I think this speaks to communication gap. And so because honestly, it's still communication stuff, right? So my thought process is, okay, if we're going to sit here and we're going to look at, because back in February, we're all kind of pushing. I say we're all kind of pushing. When we talked in February, there was a concern about them being able to charge whatever they wanted to for utilities. That was the concern. And so putting this 10%, not to exceed 10% on top, or adopting that was actually going to put the city in a situation where you couldn't actually exceed the 10%.
But what you have
is that
here,
right?
Okay, then that's true. But what you have here, what I did was, this says nothing about the charter. It's residential services, right? If this is the part, if this came out of the charter, then I need to see that in the charter, because I've looked at the charter, and when I looked at that part of the charter, it was maybe an ordinance or whatever it's going to be, but I've never seen that.
Okay. Well,
I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, no, that's I did not believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not believe that. What I think it does talk about, or it does expose the fact that there's some communication gaps, and
it exposes the fact that did they want this to be known?
well, I mean, from what I understand, and granted, it's only hearsay, but I mean, there was that, like you had said a minute ago, you said you hadn't heard about a 3% cap at all until the last meeting.
Yeah.
So how did that come up?
Because it was not. It was just in the work in the.
But how did that come up in conversation? Do you recall?
No, it was in the workshop.
The paperwork?
In the paperwork.
Oh, okay.
The binder, the budget binder that we had.
Okay.
That was the second page in the budget binder. When I looked at that, I was like, I've never seen that before. So what I did was I went back to the last 2 budget workshops that we had, the years
Right.
that I've been there.
Yeah.
Wasn't in there. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Interesting.
That's the first time I've ever seen that in a budget binder.
Interesting.
It was never there.
Okay.
So I said, let me go and say, wait a minute, this is something interesting.
Yeah, it's
And I
super
looked at that-
interesting because at this point, it's almost like, in a way, the people who bought in, because it was a petition to get this on the ballot,
Right.
And the people stood up, and the people signed off,
Right. And you know why? Because
they believed that the city had an opportunity to charge them whatever they wanted to charge them.
Right. And they didn't know that. But why did the city not say,
Right.
well, no, that's not true. So let's not do this. Like I said, transparency.
Right.
Okay, well look, we already have a cap on this.
Right.
So we won't even have to go through this.
Let's expose that to the people.
Yeah, let's just let the people know, oh yeah, you know what? No, we don't have to do this 10% because we're already at 3%. Ask anybody in the city, did they know that?
Do you believe that before it was put on the ballot, do you believe you did all the due diligence you needed to do to be able to discover something along these lines? Because I mean, honestly,
I went to the city manager and asked her. I asked her for all the information I had that we have on what we're charging the people on rates.
Okay.
Never saw that.
Okay.
That was never given to me.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, so
If that would have been given to me, I mean, I'd look like an idiot going out here trying to do this, and I knew this.
right, and that's what I'm getting to. Is that's the concern, because I'm sitting here
That's
going,
seriously concerning to me.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big concern.
Mhm.
And so, to me, I'm
And one thing I just want to
Yeah.
say with what in reference to your interview that you had with Councilman Lewis,
Lewis.
and I'll say one thing he said was probably, well, no, what was true. He said, well, the people have been misled about the proposition, because of this. I said, well, yeah, the people were really misled, because if the people would have known about this, and if I would have known about this never would have happened. So yeah, the people have been misled all this time, but
Right.
they've been misled by City Hall.
okay.
Okay, did I mislead the people? No, I did what I thought was right for the people, because and plus, what also within what I was doing with the proposition that I had proposed, the monies that we have gotten, that we were getting and have from SRMPA
Right.
was supposed to have been figured. That's not in here. That's not in this what you have here, what you read. That monies was supposed to have been figured into the cost also. So that would have helped been able to even decrease that cost anymore, maybe down to 3% or more,
Right.
if they would have figured those monies in
Right.
to the.
So basically, what you're saying, let me, and I'm struggling here on some level to try to grasp everything that you're saying. But basically, what
Yeah,
you're
me
saying
too.
is taking that SRMPA money, the return off the investment of that the city has with the SRMPA, taking those returns and factoring those back in is what you're saying should have been part of the mix.
That's correct.
Okay, so
But that wasn't happening.
but I guess my question is this. I mean, that came into play under Mike Lout, from what I recall, whenever he was
Mayor.
he was mayor. And from what I understand, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not throwing stones at nobody, this is just what I know of the narrative, that it was set up that way under that council to where they would be able to take and utilize the SRMPA monies as they saw fit.
Yeah,
Is
but
that true?
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, now the monies that we have now, which we've gotten over, and I think I've told you about this earlier,
Right.
we've gotten over $41 million.
Right. Okay.
$41,582,367. Right now, they have I guess the SRMPA Cambridge Fund is with over the years, which
Yeah.
have been spent. We have $271,397.72.
Okay.
That's what we have now. In our Light and Power reserve funds right now for L&P reserve funds, we have $1,330,000. That's our reserves. That's in
Okay.
case if something happens
Sure.
with something, a transformer, whatever.
So let me ask you this, because
when Mike Loud was in there, I'm sorry, I can't speak to that.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Because I wasn't there,
but
because
we
I understand
know-
he was on that board.
But we know that's kind of the narrative. Is
But
that
also
he
they weren't getting as much then either.
I understand that. All I'm saying is it was still left up to that time frame to decide that the city council would have opportunity to spend that however they saw fit, no
Yes.
matter how much was in there.
Yes.
That was kind of the
And
point.
I think they did try that once.
Well, yeah, maybe so. And I think
No, they did. They did try it once, but I don't know. I wasn't on there then, so before I came on, they
Yeah.
tried it once, and they said they tried to give it back to the they
people.
tried to do something to
Yeah.
give it back to the people, and there was some issues with that. But instead
So-
of trying to work those issues out
Right,
and,
right, right.
and still do it, they just said, okay, we're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. So, okay. So, having said that, all right. Now, the most recent thing has been this liquor ordinance. We'll just shift gears a little bit.
Fine with me.
Okay. The liquor ordinance. Now, you voted no.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us why.
Because I feel as though events such as that, I don't care if it's a food truck event, Christmas in the Park,
Yep.
4th of July, those are family events.
Okay.
I'm a family values type person. I'm born and raised here in Jasper. I'm
Right.
a Southern Baptist, right
Okay.
here in the heart of the Bible Belt.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think alcohol needs to be, it has its place.
Okay.
The city park and an event in the city park is no place for it.
Okay. Now, there was a lot said on the radio. There was a lot said about what this ordinance represented that I feel like was some mischaracterization of the ordinance by you. And I felt like it kind of was reaching. It felt reaching to me a little bit. You know, the whole black tar heroin, those.
No, I never said that. I never said it. That was said on the radio, but
Okay.
I never
So-
said that. I
there
just
okay.
read as far as what was read into it, and what it read was, and I looked at it as like.
But it almost
wait a minute,
seemed
what
like
is
there was
this?
just
That
some
was-
mischaracterization.
But did you read the ordinance?
Yeah, I got it right
Did you
here.
actually read the ordinance?
Absolutely.
What does it say?
And what everybody freaked out about, which I think is so stupid, because it just basically
Yeah,
boils down
that
to
was kind of.
if
Put it out there a little
if
bit.
you've never read a contract, you don't know what the hell's going on,
Yeah.
and you have articles and sections, and you have a section down here at the very bottom of this thing discussing beer and intoxicating liquors,
And?
to be honest with you, the intoxicating liquors was
But is that all it says?
right there.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Look at the other.
I know what you're
Okay.
talking about, but all
Okay.
of that is in reference to.
Yeah.
All
But-
of that
but-
is in reference to,
but if
because
you-
there's only a couple of things here.
But if you look at it, if you look
You
at
want-
the
you're
ordinance,
talking about this part?
What does it say? The ordinance itself. What does it say? Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Alcohol
Correct.
or alcohol ordinance.
Right.
But
Article 4.
But there was, and I understand what
Article
it said.
4,
with all
everybody got off on controlled substances like we're going to start a meth
Everybody
factory.
got into the definition part of it.
Well, but the problem is this. The definition was not what's being addressed. What's being addressed is they're basically saying all city-sponsored events. And here's the thing. It doesn't make me one bit of difference. One bit of difference. If you're for or against it, you have that right, and so does everybody else on the council, right?
Sure,
and you
absolutely.
voted your conscience.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
And I've got no problem with that. The problem I have is whenever we start mischaracterizing certain things, and I felt like there was a little bit of that done. Now, I will say this. If you look at this thing, and it says all City of Jasper sponsored events shall be exempt from this section. Now, what section
What
is it
section-
referring
what
to?
section?
It would be section 17.5
Does it say that?
dash 8. It's talking about that section because
Does
it's
it
in that section.
It's in that section.
When it says this section. Now, if we were going to exempt it from the entire article, it would say from this article or Article 4.
But it just
So
does it
that-
just
now-
say out? But I'm saying, though, does it just say alcohol from the alcohol part of it? See,
It's
that's
under
when
the beer and intoxicating liquor
I
section.
understand.
That's
that.
the point.
I
We're
understand
we're
that.
discussing
But-
that
and
section.
I understand it, but what everybody else was looking at was and I understand what you're saying. But that's
Right.
But
this is where things kind of get convoluted.
No,
because
you know how things got convoluted? Because that was not presented to the city attorney the way it should have been before. That means somebody else was down there practicing law.
Okay,
The city
so
attorney
let me
told
ask
me
you
he
this.
never saw it.
All right, so
I asked the city manager, the city attorney directly.
I understand that. I've asked 3 people since then that's close to the pulse of this thing that said that he did see it
Okay.
before the actual meeting.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm not calling Mr. Ratcliffe a liar. I'm not calling anybody a liar.
Okay.
All I'm saying is you said you asked the attorney, and he said that he didn't see it.
He told me. I'm gonna tell you. This is what he told me.
Go for it.
He said I saw it the same time you did when I came to the city council meeting.
Okay.
He said I never saw it before then. I never met with anybody as far as having to asking him how to revise that, how it should be worded or anything like that. That's what he told me. I'm not calling him a liar either. I'm not saying, but this is what I was told. So, and if that was the case, then that should have been okay.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't the case, then he should have said something when we were at the city council meeting.
Right. Absolutely.
But nothing was said.
Absolutely.
Nothing was said there.
Absolutely. So
Nothing was
I
said there.
guess the next question is whether or not like you just made a statement there, somebody's here practicing law without a license. So,
if that was the case, because he said he didn't see it. So
my question
so
is,
who did that?
So who did it?
Yeah, who did it? I have no idea.
So you have no idea.
I wasn't
who
in
put
on
this
that.
together. Okay.
The first time, like I said, like the city attorney said,
Right.
the first time I saw it was when you did. The first time I saw it was when they had that special call meeting for the budget workshop and a city council meeting.
Okay.
When I sat down, when I turned that over, that was the first time I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I saw the agenda.
Well, it looked
I never saw that.
It looked like a sleepy agenda to me, and then everybody got spun out about controlled substances.
I mean, what I saw was this. I saw the agenda.
Right.
I never saw an ordinance. The first time I saw the ordinance was when I got to the city council meeting, and I read that, and I was like, what?
So, and that's one of the things that Lewis tried to clear up was the idea that people would be able to bring their ice coolers and all this stuff and that type of deal, and that is not going to be the case according to Mr. Lewis. We'll see what happens. Obviously, some of those events will probably have some posted signs and stuff along those lines for people to know that you can only
Let's
have.
hope.
Let's hope. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be left up to the city. If it's city sponsored, they better have something here.
I mean,
on that end, right?
I'm kind of,
Which I mean, this is
not really clear on that being city sponsored. I mean, I know they asked. I mean, it's not something that the city asked to be done.
Right.
From my understanding, it was Councilman Lewis and Councilman Schultz, as far as I know.
Okay.
Because I don't know, because I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain something to you.
Yeah, it'd be great.
You see this city agenda? Normally and this is why when I talked to the city manager, Denise Kelly, about this, she said, oh no, why'd you mention my name in that? I didn't do that. I said, okay, Denise. The reason why I said that was when I looked at this, normally when there is a item on the agenda like that, it says consider for approval. Just like when I had the item put on the agenda for the proposition.
Sure.
Sponsored Councilman Land, Councilman Holmes.
Gotcha.
Do you see a name on that?
No.
That's why when I asked the city manager about it, she said, no, that wasn't me. That was David and Rashad.
Okay.
But I don't see David and Rashad on here.
Okay, so that's normal protocol.
That's normal protocol. Who had that put on the agenda?
So then I guess my question is this. Is somebody obviously, if the attorney did not put this together, then somebody else put this together.
I'm just saying what the attorney told me.
That's all we can assume.
What would you think?
That's all we can assume.
That's all we can assume.
That's all we can assume.
Like I said, somebody's practicing law down there that shouldn't be.
So how do you feel like that needs to be handled?
That's up to the city attorney. I think that needs to go back to the city attorney and let him handle that.
Far as dealing with whoever wrote it?
Yes.
Okay.
If he didn't write it, he needs to handle that.
Okay.
He needs to take that back to the city and say, look, we need not go forward with this right now.
Right.
Let me review this and let me put out there my opinion as the city attorney on how we should approach this.
So
because this is not, if it was me, that's what I'd do, because this is not something that I did.
Right. No, I understand. This is not your passion project.
No. I'm saying if I was the city attorney, that's what I would say.
Right.
It's not something that I did. I didn't.
You want to get to the bottom of it.
I didn't put my fingerprint on this. Yeah. I want to get to the bottom of it.
So, okay, very cool. All right, so we've got We got to the bottom of that one.
We don't have enough time.
Hey, I tell you what, I think Mike will give us a little bit of time. We'll keep rolling until we roll out.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah.
Let's see here. So what's something else that you want to kind of touch on? Because I know that there's sometimes it's fun for language to get inflammatory, and I think that's what happened with this ordinance. And it seems like we all throw our own individual matches into the hay barn and just watch it burn.
Because everybody's got their own opinion about things, and everybody interprets things differently, which is why this should have been. If this was done by the city attorney, then it should have been able to be explained by the city attorney, not everybody else, like you said, just going out there all willy-nilly and saying like, oh, I read this. Oh, this is what I read.
Yeah.
When that was first, wasn't me. I didn't read that on the radio. When it came on the radio,
right.
and I'm like, I heard that. The first time I heard it was like, what? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
You heard it just like I did.
Okay.
That's like, what drugs in the city are just being sold in the park? I'm like,
well,
what?
And then there's this overflow of everybody going, this is not the direction we need to head for as a city and this type of thing.
If I was the city attorney, as soon as I got the call about this or I heard about this, I would have immediately stepped in and said, look, this is what this is what's up. Either this didn't have my blessing.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Let me get to the bottom of it before you take this any further.
Gotcha.
It's already gone too far right now, but let's quash this right now.
Yeah.
Let's stop this. And once I find out about it, once I find out what needs to be done with this, I will get back to you.
So if okay, so let's peel off into some more.
Okay.
So what you got? I mean, because you had some things that you wanted.
Yeah. Also, I heard some other things on your last interview. Broadband, short discussion, not gonna happen. Okay, that's it. I mean,
what do you mean by
we're
that?
done with that. That thing has been put to bed.
Okay.
I mean, as far as the city going into the broadband business. Thank you. As far as the city going into the broadband business, I know some state people.
Right.
Names were thrown out there about these things, and like I said, when I try to get to the bottom of things, I try to go to the source.
Okay.
I try to ask people about these things. Like I've always said, I'm for broadband in the city of Jasper.
Okay.
I'm not for the city of Jasper being in broadband.
Okay.
Not being in the business. So AT&T, Viasat, we got Charter Communications coming in. We've already signed pole detachments with them.
Right.
Anybody, let the professionals handle that.
So
people that do
believe,
if you're an ISP provider, I'm not going to come in and say, look, I want you to come in. I want you to come in with me, and I want you to do this. And I don't think that it's going to be. And I know they've talked also about the partnership thing. If they can show numbers where being in a partnership with one of these companies can possibly be a source of revenue, because I know that the other council members that were really pushing this.
Right.
And I think, and this is what I was told by them. And I don't see any, I know we talked about the corruption thing, and I think that they really thought that this would be a good revenue source for the city of Jasper. I don't know what numbers they were looking at, but the numbers that I was seeing.
Well, obviously inflated numbers from somebody who didn't have a
right.
Who didn't have a
the numbers I was seeing. I'm like, wait a minute, what for the city of Jasper?
Exactly.
This?
So,
No.
you felt like in my conversation with Councilman Lewis that he alluded to the fact that the city was going to get back into the broadband thing.
That's what it looked like.
Is that what you felt like?
Yeah, that's what I felt.
Okay.
Maybe that was not it.
Okay.
But I mean, because if that was not it, we don't have to worry about somebody else coming in here doing broadband. I'm for that.
Yeah.
If another company wants to come in here and we make some money off them, it may not be a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a whole hell of a lot if we went into it like with the Kramer deal. We
Right.
already lost $500,000 on that. Like I said, so that money's gone.
Yeah.
Let's just get past that. Somebody wants to come in. Look,
Yeah.
I'm going to provide broadband to your area. Sure,
Right.
go ahead. You can do that.
So you're saying
that's good.
So you're saying from a city standpoint, we're done with that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm done with that. If they bring it back up, then I'm going to be the same on it. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I don't, as far as from a city standpoint, the city going into that business, yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay. All right. What else you got?
Police department.
Okay. What about it?
Our police department, we've been accepting applications for patrol officers, and we're just having problems in getting candidates to come in, even starting positions. I mean, it's like, and I did some calling around.
Yeah.
And it's not just Jasper.
You don't have to call far.
Okay.
Mitchell's having the same problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just the city.
Yeah.
It's not just the county. It's not just Jasper. It's all over. Right now, you've got our minimum rate is $18.45 an hour. It goes from midpoint $22.85. But right now, we're starting it, and the chief now, just to even try to get people in here, we're starting people off at $20.65. You can go somewhere else, and right now Jasper is being known. We're getting a reputation as a training ground for the other police departments. People, and we need to try to do something to patrol officer, police officer. We need to do retention on this. We need to try to retain them. How do you retain people? You pay them more.
Well, yeah,
but you got these benefits and everything, and that's a rate, but.
I mean, at the end of the day, it boils down to you guys sitting on that SRPA money. I mean, right?
That's all I'm saying.
Isn't that what this is about?
We can spend that money, but you don't want to. This is for the safety of the people, just like with the SROs.
Right.
Oh, we don't want to do this. We don't want to. With the contractor we had, the first thing there was some council members that were saying that. Okay, we don't want to pay them. Let the school do it. But we've had that agreement for years.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm mistaken, Councilman Schultz, please let me know, because I believe you were on council when they did that. From what I understand, I think he was on council when they had the SROs, and he was on council before. So they had that program.
But wasn't Schultz the one who actually threw it out there to kill it?
Yes.
Okay.
He wanted to not. We don't want to pay the officers for the school. Let the school
they
do their own.
They did a huge about face whenever everybody got twisted off about it, and it was going to end up pulling some more folks from down at the SO, down at the sheriff's office. And they did a full about face like nothing ever happened. That's one of the things that's weird about this city council is that you do something in one meeting and then whoop, we're gonna flip right around. We're gonna do something else the next meeting.
You know why?
I have no idea.
Will of the people. When people start speaking, when people in Jasper, when they speak up, and you got to know that's one of the things that did happen. People started worried about our kids or our teachers. What are you doing with that? Maybe they got some phone calls. I don't know. I didn't have to worry about getting a phone call. I was on it from the beginning.
But that's my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a lack of competence in at least trying to communicate with the public before we go out here and step on it? And then have to spin around and do something else.
I can't say what's another.
It makes the council look incompetent on some level.
Absolutely, it does. Which is why I say.
Which is why.
Yeah, Jay. I'm gonna tell you what you said earlier. Yeah. That's why I want to run for mayor. I think maybe I can try to bring some stability or some leadership to this town and getting council members together and say, let's talk about things before we jump out here all willy-nilly about something or something to be. But right. we don't have that right now.
But the flip side of that whole conversation or that argument is this. You hadn't been able to pull that off being a councilman. So my question is how is changing the name? How is changing the name on the card
leadership
from councilman to mayor? How is changing
leadership leading?
So you feel like
I can't lead as just a council member from my district, because guess what? When you're in leadership, people will listen to you. And I can say I'm a so-called leader but I serve one district, right. And I want to make sure. But also serving the people of the city of Jasper. I serve District 1.
Right.
And I want to make sure that things are going good in District 1. And I have people that I have to answer to in District 1.
And
I want to make sure that. But how is changing that? Because if I'm in charge, I can try to bring the people together. I can try to bring them together now. But it's like, well, you're not the mayor.
Well,
you can try to do that.
It also speaks to your ability or lack of ability to be able to work across the table with people you don't agree with. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I can work across the table with people that I don't agree with if it's something that's going to be in the best interest of the city, in best interest of the people. If it's not going to be in the best interest of the people,
right.
Why would I want to?
Right.
I mean, what I'm
so
doing
you feel
is
like
what I'm
that'll
trying.
Change when you're
Yes, it would.
If you win, okay.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
But like you said, not working across the aisle. Yeah, I can work across
so
the aisle.
Do you feel like
if it's something that's going to be done for the people of the city of Jasper, and it's going to be good,
right.
for our city,
right.
and something to work,
Right.
I think that we all need to, which is why I'm here talking to you now.
Right.
And hoping that they're listening.
Yeah.
Okay, look, let's work together.
Right.
Let's get this dialogue going. Let's not have, as you know, before, when we had to think about the secret meetings and all that,
Right.
everything was going on. That's why I'm here now,
Yeah.
trying to do that. I mean, we can't meet without it being a quorum, because of the
Right.
Open Records Act and, Open Meetings Act.
Sure.
But let's try to, let's talk. I've reached out to council members to try to talk to them about certain issues. I've reached out to Councilman Schultz. We've talked about certain issues. And, we've talked, but it's like people have their own ideas about things.
Okay.
People have their own opinions about certain things, just like me, that they do too. One of the things is I express mine.
Right.
And if you don't talk and if you don't express your ideas and you not be transparent about
Sure.
it, you can't do that. Well, what can be done about that? Vote people in on your council and as your mayor that are going to be. You need to have like-minded people there, not people that's going to fight against everything. It's like I'm not always a no person.
Right.
But I'm gonna know if it's not going to be good for the city of Jasper.
But I think that's a
because-
misconception. I think that's a misconception for some of the folks out here who may be listening. Because to be honest with you, what good is going on in Jasper right now, according to Councilman Anderson Lane? What good is going on? Because I'll be honest with you, I've had this said to me, man. He always is negative. Why is Land always negative? He never talks about the positive. And I don't know how to
what's
answer
positive.
that.
Do you know of anything positive going on in Jasper?
But my question
I'm
is,
asking you, do you know of anything positive going on in Jasper? Has anybody said anything to you about something positive going on in Jasper?
actually, yes.
What? What did they tell you?
So they're working right now with the theater. They're trying to get the theater back going on. They're trying to get the museum rolling back.
Okay. Yep.
There are some beneficial things. What I'm saying is,
What's going on positive with council?
But what I'm saying, okay, so far as council goes,
I mean, there's some
feel
things
like
that we're trying to do.
I believe this. This is a positive thing. Although you don't believe it, I believe it's positive. I believe this ordinance has a positive air to it, just simply for the fact that when you do open up this opportunity for vendors to come in, that may attract some more funds to some of these events.
Well, I
think that's a positive thing.
Okay.
But having said that, I have wondered myself, from your vantage point, what do you believe has been positive, like say over the last year, or maybe maybe when did you start this most recent term?
May.
In May.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you've been in office, what's one or two positive things you feel like you guys have been able to accomplish? I know you talked about Provalis.
Yeah. Even though I wasn't for that, but Councilman Schultz and I talked about that.
About
and he
what?
felt that it would be good. The Caradine Park.
Okay.
We're doing Caradine Park.
Yeah.
We did that.
And you were against that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely. Because I knew nothing about, like I said, Councilman Schultz had talked to me about it. Oh, we want to make a pickleball court. I didn't even know what pickleball was.
I don't either.
Never heard of it.
Right. It's huge,
So,
though.
okay, but the thing is, from what I understand, it's huge. Okay. Caradine Park, pickleball courts, tennis courts, and everything in my district. I don't know if anybody. And reason why I'm only against things, and when people come to me and say, "What is this?"
Right.
And people want to know why they're spending money on this because. So give me some other ideas as far as what you want to spend money on besides giving them back to you and your utility bill.
Yeah.
What are things that you want done?
Yeah, because okay,
what do you think
that's a great point.
What things do you want done in your community?
That's a great point.
Okay, but but I've been up to that pickleball court.
Right.
I drive through there. It's in my district.
Right.
I drive through there every day. I didn't think it was going to be benefit. It's in my district.
Right.
So I didn't see where it was benefiting people in this area.
Sure.
I mean, people might come from other places to do it, but I go there. You don't see people up there. I mean, I expect to say, well, it's pickleball. It's going to be big. It's going to be great.
Right.
You only see a few people up there. You spend a lot of money on that. As far as I know, over $30,000, I guess, to do some renovations. They did the courts done, got all that done.
Right.
But it's not something that's.
I think it's
that's jumping off. It may be something that's.
I think it's a great.
It may be like if you build it, they will come. But
I think it's a great.
I don't think.
I think it's a great point to bring up at this juncture is to say, because there's this gripe, there's this murmur out here about the SRMPA monies being the people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody's ever said it wasn't.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, it's just how it's being spent.
Okay.
They don't care. They know. I mean, there's no.
So
no
now,
question about what you're saying is that. It's just
there's
but
no
because it
question
was
about
never
that.
was done before.
But it wasn't like we were going to sit here and we were going to fly over with a helicopter and start dumping money out of the helicopter, right? It wasn't like we're going, hey, all right, we're going to have SRNPA Money Day and we're going to dump money out here on the streets. It wasn't
like we do the Easter eggs. Huh?
Right, exactly. But I mean,
No.
it's the money is meant for the people and for the benefit of the town's people.
Sure.
And so
And a
that's
lot
the
of it's
reason-
being spent that way too, but a lot of people
How
don't
much would you
don't
say-
see it that way because a lot of people don't see it like in their areas, in their neighborhoods, because people holler, well, the streets. We don't like the way the streets are. Well, yeah, well, look in the city, and they'll tell you like, well, look at what we're doing at Spring Hills. Look what we're doing with Spring Hill Street. Everybody don't travel Spring Hill Street.
Well,
It was said at one time. And I asked a question at one time, why are we spending that kind of money on Spring Hill Street when we have other streets that need the dire need of repair?
Right.
Streets, sidewalks,
So what was
curbs,
the answer?
whatever. And the answer was, well, that's the worst street in Jasper. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you drive around Jasper? I'm not going to say who said it, but it was said at a council meeting. Well, that's
Okay.
the worst street in Jasper, and that's where we decided to start. It's
Yeah.
like, excuse me. When I came back home, the Main Street project was already
Right.
in progress.
I think it's
it's positive. But you got to understand how the people feel about that. A lot of people feel like that certain areas are only getting attention.
okay.
In some areas don't get attention. I mean, you got and it's not always all negative. It's like blight. I mean, you'll talk to the code enforcement people. It's like, well, there's a process.
Right.
And I understand it, but a lot of people don't. And I try to explain it to people. Well, why do we have all these cars in the yard here, but over in this section of town we don't? Why do we have all these abandoned houses over in this area and certain areas don't? Why won't they tear these down? Whatever. But I said, there's a process to doing that. I don't know what was going on with that before.
Right,
But
right.
I do talk to code enforcement. I do talk to the city inspector.
Let's talk about code enforcement.
And it's like, okay, yeah, we need to do these things.
Let's talk about code enforcement or the inspector.
Mm-hmm.
Now, didn't he come up wasn't he on the gauntlet here a while back?
Yeah, that
to be
was-
fired. Wasn't you kind of promote? I mean,
No, I wasn't promoting that, but I was talked to about that, and at some point in time, yeah, I was, because I was talked to about a lot of business people, a lot of constituents came to me. It's like, this guy came out to my lot and he told me this. He talked to me this way. So I was like, talk to the city manager and say, look, you might need to talk to this guy because a lot of people are, they're like kind of.
But were you for him being fired initially?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Based off of business people coming and talking to
No,
you?
I didn't say only business people.
I'm just asking.
Based off people coming and saying, well, we can't do business in the city of Jasper with what this guy is doing. Okay, well, what is he doing? Is he doing his job? Well, yeah, but what he's doing is we couldn't do this before, or well, we did it this way before, but now we can't. Okay, well,
Who's following the rule versus who's not, right?
No, I don't know anything about that. I'm not who's following the rule and who's not. I'm talking about as far as the city inspector. But I'm saying, like, well, the other guy was pretty rough too. Yeah, but it was just that they didn't like his attitude.
Right.
He wasn't. Before we could talk to this guy or whoever was there before, only person I knew was Brant McCullum. I didn't know anybody else.
Okay.
Brant was rough in his own way, but I never had a problem with Brant.
Sure.
But this young man, he came in and people were saying, well, attitude, how he's talking to people.
Right.
And he came
in.
Did
you shift?
He came in and we had a talk.
Okay.
He came in and sit down and talked to me.
And so
We had a nice talk. And then I've had a couple of business people that came in and sit down and talked to me.
Yeah.
Came to my office, called me up. Yeah, well, I felt like that about him. Just like them.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. He said, oh, yeah, well, you know what? I felt like that about him before. I wanted him gone.
Yeah.
But he came in and he sat down and talked to me. Yeah. And now I kind of understand and I see what he's doing.
Understand what was going on.
And what was going on. I had a couple of business people come in. Well, I know I talked to you before about I was against him, but you know what? Now, let me sit down and talk to you and let you know how I feel about him. So I did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that rigid to where it says like people's like, oh yeah, well you done flip flop on this. No, I didn't. I listened.
Right.
I listened to what the business people that came to me and some of the citizens that came and said, yeah, well he was kind of right, but maybe I was kind of hard on him at first, but. Yeah, he was doing
what he was supposed to do.
He was doing what the regulations say he was supposed to do.
Right. Gotcha.
I said, okay. I said, but they said, but he still can be a little bit more cordial, a little bit more pleasant or whatever. Yeah. I said, yeah, that's true. I said, so what you're telling me is you've changed your mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like And it was like, well, we don't want to see anybody lose their job because I don't like the way they talk to me.
Yeah.
But is the guy doing his job?
Right.
Yes, he is doing his job. Okay, so, all right. So when that came back up again, no, I'm not for that. Let the man do his job, and I did still have a talk with him, look. And I told him, I said, yeah, man, look, I'm going to be in your corner long as the people here,
right,
or the people in Jasper and the business people in Jasper, because a lot of people saying, like, I'm not going to do business in Jasper because of that.
Yeah, sure.
I can't do anything. Yeah,
everybody's got a right to do business where they want to.
But the thing is, and that's true. But it's like, okay, now how much business is this going to cost us in Jasper? That's one thing you got to look at too.
Yeah.
And like I said, with more positive amount, I'm trying to help bring businesses to Jasper, not run businesses away.
So getting back to our list, all right. Getting back to our list. I know you wanted to talk about the city manager retiring.
Yeah.
What's kind of your take? I mean, what's your?
Well, I just feel like that if the city manager is retiring. And
has that been made official?
No, it has not been made official. I mean,
that's just kind of rumor.
Something was something. It's for, yeah, but and I'm kind
of like the rumor mill about you running for mayor.
Yeah, just like that. just like that rumor mill. People are saying that. Oh yeah, well she told me and she told me. Okay, well maybe she hadn't brought it out there yet. Maybe she just told family and friends, but it's out there.
Yeah.
Okay. By the end of the year. So my thing on that is we need to start looking now. I mean, this is what, September already?
Sure.
And if she's leaving in the 1st of September.
Yeah.
And if she's leaving in December or whenever she's leaving in within the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever, we need to start looking now.
Yeah.
Now, are they? And that goes back to something you're saying. And I'm gonna kind of agree with on something you said. As far as being a leader, being a city leader, I mean, I haven't gotten a call from the mayor. I haven't gotten a call from any of the other council people saying, well, you know what, city manager's saying she's leaving. Let's, what do you guys think? That's something that needs to be a conversation that's being started right now. If the city manager's leaving,
right.
What do you think? What are we going to do?
You don't need to deal with this in December.
No, we don't need to deal with this in December. Now, on the flip side of that coin, to coin one of your phrases, do they already have somebody in mind? Okay, so if it's not being brought up now, I mean, I'm just
they being the council,
other council members.
Other councilmen.
I mean, you're like, call me crazy, call me suspicious by nature,
or inflammatory,
whatever. You can you just don't call me late for dinner.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, it's like it's been so many things that have happened in this town since I've been here, and I'm listening to a lot of people tell me about things that were going on before I came here.
Right.
Kind of makes me, to the point of where I am now. Okay, and it's like, being negative? No, I'm not always negative. There are some positive things that I like. Just like I said, with what Councilman Lewis was saying about splash pad, skateboard park.
Yeah.
I think those things were brought up before. Do we have them now? No.
Well,
doesn't mean that they can't be.
Right.
But
But what's your opinion? What's your opinion on splash pad?
I love it. Kids need something to do.
Absolutely.
I'd love to have a pool.
Yeah.
I wish we could have one. Had one before. Had one when I grew up here in Jasper.
Well, sure.
Right up here by the rodeo ground.
Things are a lot more expensive these days, too.
That's
another reason for downtown falling apart like it has been.
That's another reason for people not coming to a lot of these events, too. Because, people not spending money, but they will. I mean, some people come out and have fun if they won't do anything else. But so some of these things.
Well, that's been a big gripe about Jasper for years. Is that there's nothing for the kids to do here anymore.
That's true.
Didn't they have a bowling alley here at one point?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Okay, maybe.
I've only been back here since 2017.
Okay, so at some point they had a skating rink maybe and a theater and some other stuff, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of going off.
I'd love to see some of those things back here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, do we have the infrastructure and the population to support something like that?
Well, sure.
That's what we need to do.
But this goes back to
bring
pickleball.
It back here,
but this goes back to pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain group of people, and I'm not an advocate for pickleball. I'm not wearing a
you're
pickleball shirt.
I see that.
I'm not wearing a pickleball shirt. I don't even know what the hell pickleball is.
Neither
but what
do
I'm
I.
saying is, it's giving people something to do out here. And I'll be honest with you, there's a huge misconception about Jasper, and I hate to always be trumpeting this, but Jasper suffers from being a tourist town every Thursday through Monday, 365 a year, and we could sit here and act like this issue with Jasper PD is a problem. I mean, we can sit here and act like it's not a problem, but whenever you have 10 to 15, maybe 20,000 people submerge the area.
Oh yeah, and especially doing doing this something.
That's exactly right.
They do that.
That's exactly right. So my point is,
and
this.
they got to, and if they're coming south,
Yeah.
or where they're going, they got to come through here to go to Raven. They got to come through. They don't have to come here to go to Toledo.
Well,
they can go around.
But the point is,
the thing
there's a
people
Walmart
are
here. There's a Walmart here.
Ooh,
so
wow.
people who are coming,
There is.
people's going to ease through here, and they're going to get what they need. And they're going to keep moving. But it's just like with the
But they gonna
pickleball
stop
thing.
there.
To me, having those little amenities like that shows that you give a crap about the town.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, you got to have the participation in those things, and I hope that.
Well, sure,
I
but all those
I
things
hope
are
that
free.
we would do that.
But all those
I hope
things
that
are
we would
free.
do that. Yeah, but everything free ain't good. Come on, now. You know, free
well,
beer ain't good. Free alcohol ain't good.
All the free
some
beer.
other things are free. Are good.
Hold
That
up.
ain't good.
I know you're Southern Baptist, but
That
you're
ain't
going off
good.
the rails. All free beer that I've ever drank has been delicious.
Free ain't free.
That's
But
my
anyway.
favorite beer, actually. You can ask my son in there. Free beer.
But sometimes on the table, you can say free. Just drink all the free beer you can, and guess what? Once you pull off, it's gonna cost you.
Well, but my point is this: those amenities are part of what makes a community.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah.
What you think? I'm just like I'm always.
Well,
I
was trying to steer you to
That's
the
okay.
away from the dark side.
Didn't I tell you what
on
I
the
listened
negative.
to Pink Floyd?
Yeah, no, exactly. So there was also
Dark Side of the Moon.
There was also another thought you wanted to address about Councilman Daniels.
Yeah, I'm just trying. He's missing in action. I'm just wondering where he was.
Does anybody know where he is?
Maybe his
Is he
uncle,
sick?
Maybe. Well,
I mean, Beto O'Rourke has a bacterial infection right
one
now.
of the meetings that we had, they said he had COVID. So, and he didn't come. I don't know what was wrong with him in the last meeting.
Now, I've heard a lot of talk about Thailand, but this is in the same rumor mill that I heard about you.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that there was going away parties for him, and he was there, and he was coming back. But that's the rumor mill. But I haven't seen him. Haven't seen him around town. Haven't seen him at the last few. And I know I think we canceled a couple of meetings because we couldn't get a quorum.
Okay.
I mean, I had to go have an operation, but an outpatient surgery on something. And when I came back, I told him, I said, look, I'm ready. We're ready to have this meeting. I'm going to have this meeting because we haven't had photos yet. And I figured everybody would be coming to the photo ops, but we've had about 3 of those, I think.
Well, I mean, my
We
God,
haven't had them.
I've had open mics for everybody at Jasper City Council, and
maybe they don't like you.
Well,
maybe they don't want to talk to you.
maybe so. But
Maybe it's the elephant. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the gorilla in the room.
maybe you're the gorilla in the room.
But yeah, I don't know. I just hope if the young man is going to Thailand, congratulations to him, more power to him if that's what he wants to do.
Right.
But we have an obligation to fulfill as council members to the people here in Jasper, and we all need to be together on this. So if you're going to be here, you're going to be here. If you're not, just say, okay, look, I'm moving to Thailand. I'm resigning.
So my last question for you. My last question. We'll start wrapping this up. Right?
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Or I'm gonna have more money to pay out here. My last question for you is this: is considering the fact that you made it official tonight that you want to run.
Did I?
Want to run for mayor?
I don't recall.
Or that you will be running for mayor
I'm
in
going to do a wrong
2023.
rating on that. I don't recall.
My question is, what do you believe if you were in charge of the SRMPA monies? Okay, which you are partially in charge in a way.
Yeah, I'm not a finance director, but go ahead.
Okay.
I don't hold the purse strings. I
understand that,
We might
but you
try to
direct
control
who gets
them.
to spend them.
We get to approve the dispensing of these funds. We don't direct them, but
so you're a money dispenser.
We're a money dispenser.
In a way, okay.
That's what we are.
All right. So if you're a money dispenser, then my question is, what are 3 things that you believe need to be addressed immediately with SRMPA funds?
Within the city, besides the capital budget items that we have, making sure that we have the equipment that we need in the city to operate this city.
Talking about as far as your roads and stuff, roads, equipments, and all that.
Yeah, roads,
stuff.
equipment. Yeah, each different departments, the electrical department, utility department, streets division. Making sure we have
would
all
be the first thing.
Equipment would be the first thing because we need to have good equipment.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say equipment would be the first thing. I'd like to say policing would be the first thing. But
are you talking about the salaries?
Yeah, that's the salaries. I think we should
salaries
do
first.
First salaries first. I think we need to do something about that, and we do need a police force.
Absolutely.
And I know some people think we don't because I'm going to tell you something. I have lived in a city where there was no city police.
Right.
They eliminated the city police department in the city of Camden, New Jersey, and it all became the county. But the thing is, a lot of people fail to realize, but a lot of people don't think, oh, how they just eliminate the city police department? All of the city police officers became county police officers. They didn't just delete them.
Sure.
So, but
they absorbed them.
They absorbed them.
Okay.
That's what it was. So they didn't just delete a city police force. Right. A lot of people might think that, but no, that's not what it is. But we need our city police department. We're a small town here.
So salary
we
first.
Need to have that.
Salary first, equipment second. Mm-hmm. And what would you say a third part is, or a third item would be?
I would say probably trying to, like what we're doing now with our parks, and doing something that is going to be with our infrastructure here, in relations to bringing in jobs, along with something that's going to, I don't know. It's something that I just can't get a handle on trying to retain youth in the city of Jasper, retain people in the city of Jasper.
Sure.
People graduate, they leave. What can we do with some of this money to say, okay, look, we want to try to keep some of these young people here in Jasper. We want to do something for our youth here in Jasper to say, well, people want to come and say, well, I want to move to Jasper, bring my kids there, and we can have these things to do for the children here in Jasper. Because like I said, you said something earlier, it's like, oh, we want to do something for our youth here, for our kids here in Jasper. Hell, we don't have that many. They grow up and leave, even when they're here, and they don't come back. You know, I would love to be able to do something for kids here in Jasper, but how many of them are actually going to come out? I mean, we want you to come out, and we can promote that, you know, and we need to promote Jasper more, you know, as the jewel of the forest, like it is. Right. I ain't gonna say used to be. It's still the jewel of the forest. We just need to make that a little bit more prevalent.
Okay.
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Not on the Payroll right here, 107.3 FM.
Let me say one more thing, Jay.
Yes, I'm gonna give you a closing statement.
Give me a closing statement.
Go for it.
Mayor, city council members here in the city of Jasper, let's start a dialogue. Something positive that we can do here for the city of Jasper. Everybody, let's talk. Call me. I'll call you. Something you want to do. I'm not that ogre. I'm not that no person that the gorilla guy thinks I am. But no, let's start a dialogue. Let's start doing something positive for the city of Jasper, because we want our youth and our citizens to see that, you know, we're trying to do something here in the city of Jasper.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, our city manager, she's doing a good job. But one thing I'm going to say about that is, if that does happen, if she does resign, if she goes somewhere, let me say this one thing before I go, Jay. We're going to separate them two. I know Mike said that he did that. And, you know, from my understanding, they did try to find somebody or whatever. And that was the last resort that we did. And, you know, the city manager.
Having the finance director
and the city manager position split. Yeah, I'm definitely for that. Okay. But the city manager that we have now, she's doing a good job. We're doing both of them.
Right.
I can't say she's doing an excellent job, because she's got two things to do. You can't do two things excellent.
Okay.
But she's doing the job that she's being paid to do.
Okay.
Okay. And that's what I want to say about that. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, you don't like Denise Kelly. I think Denise is a good person.
A lot of people who may feel like that.
Yeah, I know she's a good person. But I think a lot of the things, like since I've came here, a lot of things that, look at what she's salaried to do. She's got to do the city. She's got to be the city finance director and the city manager.
Right.
I'm not that. That can't be an easy job.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot on her plate.
Sure.
But there's a lot of things that can be done better. And it can be done better if those two positions were not together.
We're separated.
We're separated.
Okay. Well,
so thank you, Jay.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you taking time with us. I appreciate the fiery debate and getting down to the bottom of some of this stuff. I'll be honest. I would challenge you with this. It's easy to say, you call me or I'll call you on the radio or on YouTube or wherever else we are. It's easy to say that.
Sure.
It becomes very telling if we continue to move forward and there's still a huge communication gap. I think it's telling for everybody.
Yes.
And it's telling for all parties involved. So my encouragement would be, throwing out an invite on KJAS, which some of the council members may not listen to, or even follow anything that we do. I would just encourage you to push a little bit with those guys. That's just my encouragement in the thing.
And I can say one thing, that Councilman Holmes and I, we have a good relationship.
Right.
I do talk to him. I mean, I don't know if it was because of Councilman Lewis's schedule, because I know he works out at, the way he has to sleep and day and night. I mean, those shifts that he works, it's kind of difficult. And it's like, I'm turning my phone off because I got things to do. I got to sleep because I got to go to work.
I understand.
That may be difficult.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, you do have time off. You know practically what I'm saying is that everybody needs to reach across the table.
Sure.
And so I'll just say this, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the interview tonight. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Rumble. Always look for the gorilla with the red headphones. That's our logo. That's exactly right. And I got some merch coming out here before long. That's right. No, I'm gonna get you a not on the payroll shirt there, Anderson.
Get me one.
But no, we really do appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in. And if you would like, share, and subscribe. Also, let me go back to where we started. Get over there to the GoFundMe page for the Jasper Community Theater. Go to GoFundMe.com and then look up Jasper Community Theater, and you will be off to the races. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints about that, you could go over to NotOnThePayroll.com. We've got an actual link there where you can click on it. Just scroll through and see the link, and then click on it and go give your money. Here's the fact. They need about $20,000, okay? Need about 20 grand. And we have some awesome businesses in this community who could just help. I mean, if we had 20 businesses cutting a $1,000 check, it's the end of the year. You need a tax write-off. You, Anderson, you may need a tax write-off. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
If you need a tax write-off,
cut a check tomorrow.
If you need a tax write-off, cut the check and move forward. It's a great cause. The Jasper Community Theater is about bringing all of Jasper together, and that's what I think is cool about it. And that's the reason I want to help support in the process.
Let me say this. I'm glad we did get the SROs for our school, though, because we need that. We need our children and our teachers and our campuses protected. So I'd like to say that's one thing that council, eventually we did come together on it.
Flip-flop.
Council, we flip-flopped a minute there, but
Didn't have to.
But the thing,
but
we did. But that's debating. That's what you do. We can't be we can't be positive on everything, Jay. But then we can come back and say,
that sounds like some Nancy Pelosi talk to me.
There you go with that politics.
No, all I'm saying,
I don't do. See, there you go.
All I'm saying,
I don't even go there. But I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is we got to pass it in order to read what's in it.
You may not see it from the beginning. You may not see it from the beginning, but then you know what? Now I see this.
All I can say is
I'm just saying.
It looks like flip flopping to everybody else.
Well, I don't even wear flip flops.
But you say that because I'm wearing flip flops.
I wear sandals, but I don't wear.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. We love you. We are out. Check us out at NotOnThePayroll.com.
Peace. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, bro. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.